Hello. How's everybody doing? Good? Awesome. So I get to follow the flame dancer. And a nice video. It's great. Awesome. So we've got 20 minutes. I've got a lot to cover. Thank you all for making the time. A little bit about us. You've heard of us through one of our many banners. Albertsons it's one of our largest banners. If you are in the West Coast, you know us as Safeway. We are in Jewel-Osco in Chicago and Shaw's in Boston. We have a very long and proud history. We've got our oldest store is Shaw's, which predates the Civil War. We've got 4 banners that's over a century old. And our youngest banner is Plated, which was founded in 2012. We acquired them in 2017. And throughout the year, we've built up a very wide range of banners serving in different geographies. We are in 35 states, roughly 60 billion revenues, 2,300 plus stores, over 1,750 pharmacies, almost 400 fuel stations, about 34 million or so customers or transactions per week. That's a little bit about us, a little bit about me. I'm not a grocery insider, right? I've been with Albertsons for a little under 2 years now. Prior to this, I ran e-commerce for Disney Parks and Resorts globally. I've spent about a third of my career in software engineering and software development, about a third of my career in various advisory roles, mostly at McKinsey, and then most recently I was with Disney and now with Albertsons. It's an exciting time to be a part of the grocery industry, and being from outside, looking at the grocery industry outside in, there's some very interesting insights. I'm looking forward to sharing them with you and sharing with you what we in Albertsons are doing about it and how we are harnessing the capabilities of digital to be able to serve our customers better. For those of you that are familiar with traditional e-commerce, grocery e-commerce is the best way I could describe it is it's deceptively similar, but it's significantly different. It's a bit like crossing the street in London. If you're from London, it's like crossing the street in New York. Here's why. The analogy is if you've lived here for a long time and you go to London, you know it's a different country, you know things are different. Very quickly, you start to draw parallels and similarities, and you say, hey, this is starting to feel like home. And then you cross the street, and instinctively, you look left. And a double-decker bus hits you from the back because they drive on the other side of the road. And in many ways, the grocery industry and e-commerce and grocery industry is different. It looks similar to traditional e-commerce, but it's very different. I'll give you a couple of examples, and we'll use this as context for the rest of the discussion. So first, for traditional e-commerce versus grocery, the frequency of purchase is very different. You buy groceries almost every week, oftentimes more often than a week, and that has a whole set of implications on digital technologies and logistics as it goes to serve the customer. The consideration cycle is very different. When you buy something on e-commerce, there's search and there's Yelp reviews and you compare products. None of that is true for groceries. When was the last time you researched eggs or Pepsi or any of those things? I mean, you just know this, you buy the exact same thing each week. Average family buys roughly about 300 SKUs in a given year, multiple iterations of the same thing. So the core problem in traditional e-commerce was discoverability and consideration cycle. The core problem for digital in grocery e-commerce has been around building baskets. Speaking of baskets, number of items in cart. With traditional e-commerce, it's been 2 or 3 items in cart for the most part. You upsell them with one more thing. That's a big win. For grocery e-commerce, you stock to about 20 to 30 items in the cart. And that has huge implications. It has implications on digital design. It has implications on how the logistics works. The big cost for traditional e-commerce is delivery cost. Whereas for grocery, the pick and pack cost is almost as much as the delivery cost, depending on the model you choose. So it's got all those implications there. Cold chain, obviously. You want to get food in a way that is fresh. And that's all sorts of food safety considerations. And finally, delivery time. For traditional e-commerce, it's always been you choose what you want, and based on what's in your basket, you decide when you want it delivered. For grocery e-commerce, it's almost the other way around. You see what slot is available for your delivery, and if I can get that thing before 7 a.m. tomorrow, I'll add my breakfast items in the basket, else I won't. There's also interesting correlations we've seen that the longer the time gap between order and delivery, the bigger the basket size, because it's more of a considered purchase. So all of these and several other differences like this, if you're familiar with traditional e-commerce, and you come in, regardless of your role, right? I mean, you're an investor, you're a software platform builder, you're a developer, operator. If you come in with muscle memory from traditional e-commerce, there's a number of things in grocery e-commerce that might catch you off guard. The way we've looked at it at Albertsons is even beyond e-commerce, we've looked at digital. Digital will form a continuous thread across the entire customer life cycle, from inspiration, which is recipes and products, et cetera, activation, which is largely around coupons and digital coupons, and then transaction, which largely is in the store today, but e-commerce is dramatically growing. For inspiration, we've had a number of capabilities that we've built up over time. We've got hundreds of recipes by cuisine and occasion and so on. We're integrating and tested them with Plated, which is one of our banners now. We're very close to getting to single-click, add ingredients from the recipe into the basket, tie that with coupons, and have them either delivered to you or you can pick it up in the store. So starting from meals to shoppable recipes to coupons and to transaction. For activation, we continue to have and continue to build and extend our loyalty programs, which the particular aspect of that is the personalized coupons and personalized deals. We're able to get to individual specific pricing, personalized pricing and personalized coupons, which continues to be extremely popular with our customers. And we're working on how best we can tie that with up-funnel content and recipe content. And then for transaction, for e-commerce, we obviously have our own e-commerce delivery fleet. We pick and pack from our stores at this point. We have about 1,000 refrigerated trucks. We have home and business delivery, and we do same day, et cetera. We also have Drive Up and Go, which is our version of order online to pick up at the store. And then, of course, Plated's is one of our banners, which is doing extremely well in terms of getting the e-commerce customer with meal kits. We also sell Plated, of course, in our stores today. When we've done all this over the last 2 years, our big observation has been that the customer journey is decidedly omni-channel. So if you look at inspiration, activation, and transaction across online and offline, what we've observed is there are very few customers are either purely online or purely offline. Almost 2/3 of the trips made to our stores have at least one are planned using at least one digital tool. It might be our digital tool. It might be someone, a general tool out there. But a large proportion of our customers do look at digital tools. Could be recipes, could be content, could be coupons before they walk into our store. Two-thirds of the coupons redeemed in our stores are digital coupons, and that number continues to increase. So the inspiration activation phase is heavily skewed towards digital engagement. On the transaction side, a large part of our online customers hear of us first from our stores. So we have stores and ads in our stores which drive customers to try out our home delivery or Drive Up and Go offerings. And that's been the primary way our customers hear about our online and e-commerce capabilities. So customer journey is largely omni-channel. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to bring together digital and physical to the extent possible to be able to serve our customers across all channels. They're interacting with us, not with a specific channel, and we're trying to invest in that. Let me talk to you about our 5 core beliefs and what we're doing about it. And we believe that third-party platforms can help maximize our existing assets. Our stores are our biggest assets. We got stores, we got people, we got supply chain leading into those stores, and that's our biggest assets. And we continue to work with a large number of vertically integrated partners out there who can use our stores to pick and deliver from. And this is over and above any e-commerce offerings we ourselves operate and run. This just sweats our assets more. It gives us more revenue. As long as the economics work, we'll continue to work with as many partners as that are willing to work with us. So Instacart, of course, is one of our partners. We recently launched a pilot with Uber Eats, which picks and delivers sandwiches from our stores. We got a pilot running with Grubhub. We continue to have conversations with a number of folks that can pick from our stores. We continue to do flour delivery with FTD. There's a number of other things that we're looking at. The store has a wide range of offerings, and as there are vertical marketplaces that emerge, we want to be able to plug into them, and so long as the economics make sense, we want to continue to do that. As far as we're concerned, that drives more utilization of our existing asset, which is our store and our employees in our stores. Having said that, number two, and this is an important one, cost structure for e-commerce or grocery delivery matters. After mortgage and car payments, food is right up there among one of the biggest expensive tickets for most families. And for grocery delivery, home delivery of grocery, to be at scale and to reach its full potential, collectively we need to find a way to get groceries to customers, home delivered, at more or less in-store prices with a nominal delivery fee and make money on it. And that's the hard part. And when you look at the variable cost of doing grocery delivery, there's really two things you can squeeze. There's pick costs, and then there's delivery costs. And those are really the two costs. And then you can try and offset it with some vendor funds and so on and so forth. But really, the fundamental costs are your pick costs and your delivery costs. And we've got to find a way to optimize them. Various models have been tried over the last years. The first big model was a big warehouse model, a few 100,000 square feet, pick in a gigantic robotic facility. It's worked in some markets in some regions. Frankly, I think of them as the mainframes, right? I mean, it was great at one point in time. Technologies have evolved. There's another model that we worked through is the store pick model. The store pick model is low capex but high opex. Stores are designed for merchandising, for exciting the customers and for discoverability for the customers, not optimized for picking. But what it does is you get stores that are close enough to customers, so your delivery costs are lower, but your pick costs are very high. And there's a third model, which is the micro-fulfillment warehouse. The important part is being able to cordon off a small area, a dark warehouse, if you will, into which customers do not come, where you can arrange items optimized for picking, not essentially for customer and merchandising. And if you can add robotics to it, so much the better. So we are announcing today that we have a partnership with Takeoff to be able to build a center that roughly looks like this. Essentially what it is a rough 10,000 square feet, 10 or 12,000 square feet at the back of one of our stores, where we'll be able to load goods in packs from the back, and then the robots or the conveyors would bring the carts over, and then the picker can pick in eaches from the front. With that, we expect to be able to dramatically drive down pick costs, and then we bolt that up with efficient routing of trucks. We'll be able to dramatically drive down our pick and delivery costs in a way that makes sense for our customers. The goal here is to be able to get it to our customers at prices that are competitive to in-store prices, and with maybe a nominal delivery fee or so. That's another Takeoff Canap system. You see the totes, the goods from and goods to, and this is the robot that moves them around. We expect to launch this sometime next year. Dates are being finalized. We're excited to pilot this capability and see how it evolves. Third, we believe food trends are changing rapidly, and digital can help retailers keep pace. Now, those of you here from the CPG industry will be very familiar with the number of no-sheep products and young companies that are coming out there, which are dramatically gaining prominence on shelves. There is an infinite aisle of such new products, new companies coming out there, which are gaining popularity with customers. Big brands and big advertising is being replaced by origin stories and stories of specific founders. So 2 weeks ago, we launched the digital marketplace. It's essentially an infinite aisle. We started off with 40,000 SKUs. It gives our customers access to about 40,000 SKUs. It gives these innovative vendors, most of which are small vendors, access to the large customer base of Albertsons. And it gives us access to proprietary information on food trends across the country. So these are our featured sellers. We're very excited to be working with them. Many of them these are our heroes, right? So for example, Canvas, it makes fiber-rich protein shakes. It's plant-based. It focuses on improving the digestive system. Sarah Poole, who was the founder, she was a Division I athlete, competed in marathons and realized she wanted something that really works for her, didn't find the product, so she went and made one. BOSS produces raw superfood bars, exciting products. Their goal is to fit into people's busy lifestyle, while it's also gluten-free and paleo. It's getting a lot of traction with our customers, a great origin story, and so on and so forth. So digital can help retailers extend their shelf into infinite aisle. Fourth, we believe that tying transactions with online media, tying offline transactions with online media can unlock significant value to the brands. Earlier this year in January, we launched the Albertsons Performance Media. And the goal there is to be able to work with the CPGs and help CPGs track our customers based on our loyalty program. And you can advertise to them and target them on all digital media platforms, and Facebook and Google and whatever else. And then we can tell you of all the people that saw the ad who actually bought the product in the store. Complete closed-loop attribution. And that is better use of ad dollars for you, and that helps give coupons and discounts to our customers. It's a win-win all around. The other thing we are excited to announce, and we launch in the next few months, is search and sponsored product with real-time bidding and results optimization. And we should have that up and running in the December-January timeframe. And finally, we believe that we are in the very early stages of significant transformation in the food ecosystem. What do I mean by that? And I'll draw a parallel with music. We started with Beatles up there, and so we'll end with music. How about that? Early days, we had in the music industry, there was Virgin Records and Tower Records. How many of you have been to Virgin Records? Do you remember that? Good times. You get to go there, and you could put on a CD and listen to it. And you could try and buy. And then some of those retailers set up websites to sell CDs. Innovative, wasn't it? It was exciting. You didn't have to go to the store. You could go to online and buy a CD. And then along came Napster, and then there was Rhapsody, shook up the industry, and then along came Apple. Between iPod and iTunes, you didn't need to buy an album anymore. You could buy a single. And then as we went further up, with that, people said, this is it. The music industry has changed. It's transformed forever. This is it, right? No, as it turns out, there was Spotify and Pandora came along. You don't need to buy those singles anymore. You just rent music. Think about, for every one of these steps, think about all the contracting and disruption to the economic model between music labels and artists and brands and everything that has to happen for every one of these steps, right? And the organizing construct for music was an album. Now it's a playlist. My son doesn't understand the concept of an album. My son doesn't understand the concept of a side A and side B of a tape, right? So that's how much, and it's not just a change in hardware. It is just not the change in the customer interface. It's changing all of the industry economics that had to happen and all of the value chain distribution that had to happen to get us here. If you look at the grocery industry, I think we are in the early days of that. We are, at this point, Safeway with with the grocery delivery website. And we're continuing to growing that very well. We'll continue to invest in it and grow it. That is awesome. But there's another 10 years of evolution ahead for this industry. When all of us collectively will be a part of it, all of us collectively will take this industry through a similarly disruptive journey. And I do believe over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see way more disruption in this industry than in the last 20 or 30 years. My name is Narayan. Thank you for listening.